at least not a mean-spirited one. She was simply fascinated by other people's business, from their wealth and health to their politics and religion. Incidentally, my dad is Jewish and my mother Methodist. Live and let live is their mantra, an outlook that was passed on to both my brother, Max, and me, the two of us embracing the more attractive elements of each religion, like Santa Claus and satyrs, while punting Jewish guilt and Christian judgment. This was a good thing, especially for Max, who came out during college. My parents didn't miss a beat. If anything, they seemed more uncomfortable with Kirk's money than with my brother's sexuality, at least when we first began to date. My mother had insisted that she was just sad I wouldn't be getting back together with Teddy, my high school boyfriend, whom she adored, but I sometimes sensed a slight inferiority complex, and her worry that the Brownings were somehow looking down on me and my family. To be fair, a half-Jewish girl from Bristol with a gay brother and no trust fund probably wasn't their first choice for their only child. Hell, I probably wasn't Kirk's first choice on paper either. But what can I say? He picked me anyway. I'd always told myself that he fell in love with my personality, with me, the same way I fell in love with him. But in the past couple of years, I had begun to wonder about both of us and what had brought us together in college. I had to admit that when discussing our relationship, Kirk often referenced my looks. He always had. So I'd be naive to think that my appearance had nothing to do with why we were together. Just as I knew, deep down, that the patina and security of a good family had, in part, attracted me to him. I hated everything about that admission, but it was definitely on my mind that Saturday night as Kirk and I took an Uber to the Hermitage Hotel for about our 5th gala of the year. We had become that couple, I remember thinking in the back of that black Lincoln Town car. The husband and wife in an Armani tux and a Dior gown who were barely speaking. Something was off in our relationship. Was it the money? Had Kirk become too obsessed with it? Had I somehow lost myself as Finch grew older and I spent less time mothering him and more time in the role of full-time philanthropist? I thought about one of my dad's recent remarks, asking why my friends and I didn't just skip the galas and give all the money to charity. My mom had chimed in that we might be able to accomplish more meaningful work in blue jeans than black tie. I had gotten defensive, reminding them that I did that sort of hands-on work too, such as the hours I spent every month answering calls on Nashville's suicide helpline. Of course, I hadn't admitted to my parents that Kirk sometimes minimized that kind of volunteering, insisting that I was better off just writing the check. In his mind, a donation of dollars always trumped time. The fact that it came with more splash and credit was beside the point. Kirk was a good man, I told myself now, as I watched him take a swallow of the bourbon roadie that he'd poured into a red Solo cup. I was being too hard on him. On both of us. "You look fabulous," he suddenly said, looking over at me, softening me further. "That dress is incredible." "Thanks, honey," I said in a low voice. "I can't wait to take it off you," he whispered, so the driver wouldn't hear him. He gave me a seductive look, then took another drink. I smiled, thinking that it had been a while, and resisted the urge to tell him that he might want to slow down on the booze. Kirk didn't have a drinking problem, but it was a rare night that he didn't at least catch a red wine buzz. Maybe that was it, I thought. We definitely both needed to ease up on our social calendars, be less distracted, more present. Maybe that would come when Finch went to college in the fall. "So, who have you told about Princeton?" he asked, clearly thinking about Finch, too, and the acceptance letter he'd just received the day before. "Other than my family, only Julie and Melanie," I said. "What about you?" "Just the guys in my foursome today," he said, rattling off the names of his usual golf buddies. I didn't want to brag, but I couldn't help myself. His expression mirrored the way I felt, a mix of pride and disbelief.